Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on the Ridge, huge news! The electrical inspector has came and went. What happened? Let's find out. So I was working inside the power shed, taking care of communication wires between the inverters and the batteries, and I hear a car drive up. And you guys know, I'm off grid here. I've got no trespassing signs. I even have 5-gallon buckets of rabbit poo blocking the driveway up to the ridge. Somebody coming up here? That's kind of alarming. So I come out of the power shed, and here's this car coming up right in my driveway. Young man gets out and says, "Am I in the right location?" I'm like, but to myself, I'm like, "No, you're not, because I have no idea who you are." He said, "I'm the state electrical inspector." I'm like, "Oh." I didn't get a single call or anything. At the end of last week, I scheduled to have the electrical inspection done, but I got no call. All of a sudden, here he comes pulling up unannounced. And I'm like, I don't have anything opened up. You know, I was planning on having all the panels, all the junction boxes, inverters, batteries, everything opened up, so we can just kind of do a quick walkthrough, and hopefully he just says, "That looks good, that looks good, that looks good." Well, that's not what happened. So I apologized to him, saying I was not ready and I would have had all the panels open and everything for him. He said, no problem. So what I got for you today? I said, well, we got the rough-in inspection for this off-grid solar, and then we have the trench inspection, so I can cover the trenches up and get everything all done there. I said the older gentleman who's the primary state electrical inspector, I guess this guy is the assistant. He's a full electrical inspector, but he's the, I guess, assistant to the main for our area. And I said, the older gentleman was here before. I did a consultation with him. He said everything looked good. We're going to plan with this and everything. So it's been a while since they've been out, but that was the plan. Well, this young man said, well, we got a problem. He said, the problem is I only have you down for one rough-in inspection. You've got two here. I'm like, well, I guess got just this one project. He goes, no, your trench inspection, to be able to cover it up, that's considered one rough-in inspection. For me to go inside your power shed and check out all your solar and everything is a second rough-in inspection. You paid for an electrical permit, I believe it's $35, and I'd set up a consultation, a rough-in inspection, and a final inspection. You should have had also a rough-in inspection for your trenches set up. So you need to go back in to the system, schedule one of those, and then we can do that. I'm like, say what? Again, I didn't know that, and if the older gentleman told me that the first time, it was not something I understood. But he said, let me call the state electrical inspector, the older guy, and then we'll see what he has to say. So he called him up, he answered, and I said, yes, this is Mr. Roberts. I'm here with your assistant here, and I got this problem. We have the trench and we have the solar shed, and I'm ready for both. Can we get them both inspected, and I'll just take care of the paperwork a little bit later? So he's silent for a second, and the younger guy's holding the phone and everything, and he says, all right, to the other guy. He said, go ahead and do this. Inspect his trench, make sure that's good so he can get that covered up. Go ahead and inspect his electrical, and once he gets his rough in, we can mark it down as complete. I was like, cha-ching, yes! I am kind of on a timeline here because I've got my off-grid barn house that I'm supposed to start as soon as the off-grid solar is permitted. So I was like, oh, goodness gracious, that's so good. So the young man looked at the trench. I told him everything was 24 inches, 18 at the minimum. Everything did cave in a lot. A lot of it caved in. He was really cool about it. He says, all right, your trenches have passed. You can cover them up. Then it came time to go inside the solar shed, and I popped open all the raceways, pulled off the covers to the inverters, opened up the batteries, showed him this, showed him that. He was like, whoo, this looks nice. I can tell you know what you're doing. I said, well, I got over 30 years industrial electrical experience, but this whole residential thing's new for me. And he said, well, that looks great. I said, you haven't done much off-grid solar before? He said, well, I've done the solar farms, for the county and stuff, but you're really the first, consumer or off-grid solar that he's done. Again, this is the assistant, the main state inspector. He's done several solars. So, but he said, I can tell you've done this and you've done this right. I was going over, how I got my stickers for the newer version of NEC and the older version, and what my plans were for this and plans were for that. So guess what? he gave me a thumbs up for my rough-in inspection on the electrical as well. Woohoo! So what does this all mean? Well, this means today I can start covering up my trenches. Get all the dirt put back in, get the gravel on top of it, and then I can go inside and start putting my breakers in my 200 amp panel, getting all the wires terminated in there, and then of course I can call to have my final inspection done, and they come out and look at one last time at all the connections and everything, and cross our fingers, everything passes. Let's go ahead and get old Blue warmed up, and we'll start putting dirt in trenches. Oh, my knee, I hurt my knee. That's the knee I had surgery on. Hurt it bowling. Yeah, don't give me any business. It'll be all right. While old Blue is warming up, let's go inside the tool side of the shed here. And guys, this is all I have left as far as parts for this project. Isn't that crazy how I had piles and piles and piles, and basically I just got some fittings, some clamps, and a few things left over. Of course, I can use them for other projects. I got some cable left over, and I'm glad about that. Here are my NFPA solar required stickers, rapid shutdown, all that. So I got the 2017, 2023, or 2023, 2026 versions. I've also got a ground clamp left over. This is a marking heat shrink. I'm going to heat shrink mark all my cables in the 200 amp panel. So yes, I'm very, very lucky. Had enough materials, and move on to the next phase. Come inside the power shed real quick. We can see everything is buttoned up and beautiful. And every wire, every piece of conduit is now run. Every single one. Now inside the 200 amp panel, I've got to wire, put all the breakers in and wire those in. And on the table in there, we just came from the tool shed, I had a big bag of breakers I have to put in. But everything is done. Look at here, guys. All the grounds, all the power wires, even all the communications. Hot diggity. So what the plan is to pull in all the dirt first. I'll get all the dirt pulled into the trench, and then you can see we've got gravel behind it. I can probably use the bucket on the front end loader to push the gravel in on the dirt, but I'll use the backhoe, probably pull the vehicles out, put the backhoe in, and then bring the dirt towards the hole. Before I'd put the tractor over there and did the backhoe doing it that way. I think it'll work better by putting it up under. Plus I'll have shade. It is 110 degree heat index out here, guys. Whew. Pretty much have the same situation over here. I'll back the backhoe up and pull all that dirt into the hole, and then we'll come around the other side and push the gravel in. I do have to dig up the conduit for the well and move it over a little bit. The dirt that collapsed in there has got it in a little bit wrong position, but that should be the only digging I have to do, and hopefully my knee won't suffer doing that. cause some damage here. Not to my knee, hopefully. Jumping up and down. Come on closer, I'll show you what we did. Yeah, that filled in. I like that. That looked pretty good. Over here, I got it pretty much level. There's a little bit of mound right there I can get. Over there, I told you I was going to leave that empty. I got to move that conduit going to the well there. I got lots of dirt right there I can push over, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, that filled in pretty good well. Cross over here. I can actually just stand right there. You can see we're about level right there. And I got that dirt. I think I'm going to use the bucket on the front. Come around the back side over here, push that dirt in, and then I can push all the gravel that's piled up around the back side over there. Let's go check the other side. You can see that's all big piles of gravel right there. The tractor's actually up on a giant mound of it right now. Once I get all the dirt in, I can just use the front bucket and push that gravel on top of it. Should look really nicely. Let's check out over here. I think I could have pushed a little bit more dirt in here. I didn't do a very good job of that. I think I'll come in from under here, come in with the front bucket and just push that in. And then of course I got that big old mound of gravel I can push on top of it. Left a little hole right there. I think I can fill in with some of this dirt. There's a bunch of dirt over there I'll use the front bucket for. But it's filled in. Definitely filled in all the way across. And I got a little dirt on the end there. Again, the front bucket will take care of most. So there's a big mound of dirt right there. My backhoe wouldn't reach it. So, and then look at all this big, I mean, you can't tell from the camera. That is a big mound of gravel right there. There's another big mound of gravel right there. So, alrighty, let's talk about what's next. I'm sorry I didn't get you a bunch of amazing angles with the camera for the bucket and all that stuff. This sun, oh my gosh, 110 heat index, 98% humidity, about 100 degrees. The camera would overheating just like that. So I had to put the camera in the shade and then kind of zoom in when I was getting all the footage of me using the backhoe. For the rest of this, I think we're gonna do the front bucket, and we're gonna do this in time lapse. Get a little bit of RidgeLife music going in the background. See if we can get the rest of this dirt pushed in, get the gravel over it, and we'll be right back. Enjoy the show.
Rising from the Tennessee Ridge, 30 acres deep, past the city's bridge. Log walls climbing under open sky, building freedom where the hawks fly. Raised on rustic pride, heartland tools in hand, log home rising on Tennessee land. Off-grid dreams and
guys, that was a lot of work, and I am hot. That sun was beating down. I went ahead and got a shovel and dug out this conduit right here, got it repositioned properly on the wellhead, and filled this in with dirt by hand. And you can see I've driven over it and run down. Ooh, that wind is picking up. Driven over it and run down several times so everything looks nice and smooth. We can still see I got the big piles of gravel. I did not put the gravel on because I'm going to let the rain come and settle the dirt. And once the dirt settles, I'll smooth it out again. Then I'll put the gravel on it. I left this hole right here because this is where the 2-inch conduit for the main house feed will be coming in, and I got to dig this out and run that way with it anyway over to the house. Over here on this side of the power shed, we can still see I got this huge mound of gravel. I had to smooth the gravel back because it was too big of a mound to drive over to get this gravel, or to get this dirt pushed where it needed to go. You can see I got it all the way up to the power shed there, and that looks really, really nice. I did leave it high right here at each of the column bases, again for settling. I want the water to drain this way and down that way, right? So I left this high right here. It drains down. Got these big mounds of gravel. Again, I'll spread out later. I'm probably going to get another truckload of gravel brought in anyway to fill in some low spots I've got here in the parking lot. So once I'll let this settle, get the back blade on the tractor, take the backhoe off, get the back blade on, and I'll back blade it and get the gravel smoothed out, get another load of gravel brought in, and I think we'll be just fine. Goodness gracious, guys, this looks smooth as a baby's bottom. We got it all covered up, and I am tickled pink. No more big gaping holes to have to jump over and twist my knee on. Old Blue did an amazing job. I don't know if y'all can tell, there's no more high-pitched squeak in Old Blue. I figured out what it was, took care of it. It wasn't a hydraulic issue. She sounds good to go. I'm learning to operate her a little better too. My backhoe skills, I'm still working on them, but my front end loader, I think I'm pretty good on that one. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. With this being done, that means I can get inside and start working on the 200 amp panel, right? Working on that final inspection that'll allow me to power up our system. So again, make sure you're subscribed to RidgeLife. Hit that notification bell. Be notified anytime a new video comes out. Liking, sharing, and subscribing is always 100% free. And until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed day, and go RidgeLife.